Alright, hi everybody again. So I guess you're still trying to get set up here. Hopefully this won't take too long. So by now you should have sent me your info and your picture and everything else. And now we need to set up a map basically so that Vixen will know which input and by extension which channel goes to which pixel in the picture. So we need to make a little map to go from one to the other. So now to do this, this might take a little while if you have like a lot of channels, but it's up to you how you want to set it up. Hopefully, even a complex show shouldn't take more than an hour to set up, and then a really complex show. So what we need to do this is a program called Paint.net. This is a freely available image editing software. Just type it into Google and you'll find where to download it. We need this because we need layer support, which regular old Paint doesn't have. You want to use Photoshop if you have it, but Paint.net nice and free. And get it. So now get the image you sent me, preferably the same image, so it's the same size and everything. I think it'll handle it if it's not, but just in case, just safer rather than sorry. Use the same image. Maybe edit it if you want to, like. Well, no. Really, you should just leave it the same. Edit it before you send it to me if you want it to like have like a little button or an area to turn on all the lights or turn on specific sections. You could even send me an image that is nothing more than a bunch of little buttons and that tell light up this tree or that tree or however you want to do it. So you can do it that way too. Basically, the screen is free reign for you in the way this works. So obtain this image. Go into Paint.net. We're going to open up the image. That's on my desktop. Okay. So we're going to open up the image. The first thing we do is you got your layers here. If you don't see that, you can go to Windows Layers. So we're going to go to Layers, and we're going to add a new one. This gives you a blank layer to work with. So now what are we going to do? Basically, Vixen, the plugin I wrote for Vixen, is going to read in the image we're going to save off from doing this, and it's going to access the red or R value at each pixel whenever someone touches that pixel. So the value that's going to go in this R setting right here directly correlates to an input that's going to go that the input plugin is going to use to light channels. So this is the important part, the R. I'm going to select like a color blue just so I can see what I'm painting, and it'll show up blue. And you can pick different colors for different areas if you just want to visually see it. But the only value that matters is the R value, so you're going to have to set that each time. All the green and the blue don't matter at all, so you can play with those to make it look however you want to help you do this. So that's going to be what we're going to do. We're going to go to Paintbrush. You can adjust the size and how you want to paint in here. I'll leave it to 20 for now. It looks nice and big and easy. And this is very important. You must be on solid color, and this little squiggly line thing here is for anti-aliasing, and you must disable anti-aliasing, and I'll show you what happens if you don't. So if you leave it as enabled, and you let's first say I want input 1, so R1, and let's say I click somewhere. Okay, looks fine and dandy, right? We'll zoom in farther, zoom in real far, and what you're going to see, you're going to start seeing here is the outskirt edges of that. It's going to like dither it or interpolate it. So if I were to pick on a color like red on the end, you'll see the R value changed. So it didn't keep everything the same. It dithered at the corners. So that being 0 wouldn't screw anything up, but if you were on higher channel counts, you would start getting channels. It would start setting off channels that are inappropriate, but you wouldn't want. It would go like 1 down or maybe more down depending on what you're doing. So that's bad. So let me erase that one. Get rid of that. So I'm going to go back to the paintbrush and I'm going to do this correctly. So we're going to turn anti-aliasing disabled, and that's going to make it a solid color the whole way through. Okay, hey guys, I had to take a little break there because I forgot the other option you got to set to make sure this works right. So you have to disable anti-aliasing. but also this little vial glass here thing. It's default to normal blending. You must set that to overwrite, or else it'll also screw up your values. So this should, with those two settings set, this is solid color, and adjust your brush width, you should be able to paint in exactly to the color that you want. Okay, so now I'm selecting my brush, my image is clear. I've set this to 1, so this will be input 1, and we are just going to paint it. Okay, and now to double check myself, again, to make sure, let's scroll over and take a look. All colors look exactly the same. I can use a little color picker to check, and I can see that R stays to 1 everywhere in the picture. Okay, good. So that's how you do that. You can also use the selection tool, like select the whole area, or the other selection tools, and then do a paint bucket and just paint in the selection. That would work too. We're going to sync with the paintbrush right here. You can also use a pencil, but it's only 1 pixel wide, and there's no selection for width, so I'm not sure how you'd use that, but it's there if you want it. So let's do, we're going to make four inputs here. So we're going to set R to 2. Then we're going to paint this window. Okay. Then we're going to set R to 3. And then we're going to paint this window that's hidden by this tree here. And then we're going to set R to 4. And we're going to paint this sound here. Okay. Now let's imagine I had edited this picture, the background picture here, to have a little picture of a button up here that says turn on all. Okay. So I'm going to have even though I only have 4 channels here, I'm going to have a 5th input, and that input's going to map to all of these, so that when you hit this one, all of them turn on. When you hit this one, only this window turns on, and the same for all of these. But when I hit this one, it'll be mapped to all of them. So I'm going to go to my paint bucket here, set this to 5, and boom, and then deselect the area, and there you go. So that's 5. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now we need to fill in all the empty space behind it. So to do that, we'll just go to the paint bucket. Let's set everything behind it to 0. Let's just go to black. Okay, so everything will be 0. That's what we need. We need the R value to be 0. And then just hit the paint bucket on the back, and there you go. That's your map. So then we need to delete the background. Okay, so just select it over here in the layers and hit delete. And that is going to be our map. That's how Vixen's going to figure out which area in the picture goes to which input. Okay guys, so I'm going to splice in a little video here because Tester Scott found a little problem in my procedure here. So we need to save our image, and this was one of Scott's test images for me. So we need to save this. We are going to go File, Save As, and this is very important. The name of the picture must be all lowercase house, and it must be a BMP file. So you do a save as, come into here, give it the name house, and it must be a BMP file. You can click here and just scroll to BMP, and then you're going to hit save. And when you hit save, this is the part I forgot. It's going to bring up this dialog with the settings for the BMP. You must hit 24-bit. If you have a large, I think the reason I didn't catch this is if you have a large image with lots of different channels in it, it auto detects and goes to 24. But if you only have a few channels, maybe 16 channels, maybe 8 channels, and you click auto detect, it can auto detect and then pick 8-bit, which will totally mess up all the work you just did. So make sure you hit 24-bit, and make sure it's house, all lowercase, .bmp file, make sure it's 24-bit, and hit OK, and go ahead and save that file off. And splice. There we go. That's our image. So now that I have this house file, I'm going to copy this house file, and it must go in Vixen 2.5.08 in the plugins directory in the input right alongside the Droid receiver. Okay? So you're going to paste it right in there. See, I already had a wrong one in there. Copy and paste, and now it's there. So now we can go set up the input to channel mapping inside of Vixen. Hey guys, just wanted to cut in a little slice here and show this is, if you saw my other video, which was my first try, this was like the little picture, the house.bmp file that I used for that one. I'm not going to do what I use for this upcoming year. It's just my first test one. So this is an example of what yours might end up looking like. Okay. So now let's go back and start up Vixen again. And let's open up, like my last video, I made this droid sequence. Got the basic setup done, but now we need to do the channel mapping. So click droid receiver and click inputs. It's going to take you to this screen. We're going to want to hit live update the hardware so that you can control the actual hardware in real time. This record to sequence thing does work, not very well. It doesn't catch every single event that it should. I'm not sure if it's me or it's fixing or what's going on. It kind of works. Maybe people could use this also for like trying to sequence or something, but in typical, I think people will leave this off and not mess with that. But yeah, up to you guys. Anyways, we're going to set input output mapping. I put 16 channels in this, but I'm just going to worry about 4. So input 1 will refer to the pixels in that image we just made that had a red value of 1. Okay, so we're going to want to map that to channel 1, which would be like the leftmost window. Channel 2 will go 2. Channel 3, or input 3 will go input 3. Input 4, channel 4. Okay, and then remember we have the do all button. So that's input 5, which is like up in the top right of that picture. And for that, we're going to select all 4 of these. So whenever people press there, that's going to hit all 4 of these at the same time. And that's it. And this could take a little while with a bunch of channels, but that's how you set it up. You hit OK, and you hit done. And that's it. And now you'll be ready to hit play. You must be, actually, never mind. You are not ready. We still need to do the network setup, which I will go through in the next video. But this is all the Vixen setup you need to do. So you hit save, and this will be done. So watch the next video for the network setup. Thank you.